Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela with another edition of Notes on the News, coming to you live and in living color, or I guess if you watch me on the replay, in the replay. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and all of the hit the notifications bell. Welcome on the chat. If you have to leave early, remember thank you. Once this video is finished, I'll be uploading it. So if you have to leave early, you can come back and watch what you missed. And if you come on late, tell your friends, hey, Mutual Admiration Society. Ayapo Yapa. Hey. Tell your friends, tell all of your friends that they can, watch it on the replay too. Or if they come on late, they can catch the earlier part. So drop into the comments what's new and good, what's exciting in your personal life, in your family, in your community, in the world. Share any good news you have. Hi, welcome on the chat. Share any good news you have. Don't be shy, because that's what we gonna do, right? We gonna share the good news. Okay. Um, and oh. So, Habaragani, I know we finished up Umoja the last time we were together. You may or may not know that we cycle through principles of Kwanzaa each time that we get together. And the last time we got together, we finished up Umoja, which is unity. And so we are moving on. If I can figure out how to, let's see. We're going to move on whether I can figure it out this. All right. So we are reading essays from endarkenment.com. We're reading them one paragraph at a time. And we have moved on. Hey, welcome on the chat. We have moved on. Thank you for the like. We've moved on to the next principle. And the next principle is Kuji Chagalia. It is my favorite principle because I like how it sounds. Kuji Chagalia. It sounds kind of like what it is. It sounds almost onomatopoeia to me. Yo, Bella, what up, though? You saw Bella? It sounds almost onomatopoeia to me. Like, it sounds like self-determination. Kuji Chagalia. I don't know. That's just how it sounds to me. So that's the second principle. Peace, Kendra, beloved sister Kendra. And Kuji Chagalia is to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. Okay. The second principle of the Nguzo Saba, the seven principles, is self-determination. This too expresses itself as both commitment and practice. Are you committed to self-determination? Are you practicing self-determination? How are you showing that you're practicing self-determination? How are you speaking for yourself, creating for yourself, thinking for yourself, defining yourself, naming yourselves, creating for yourself? And practice. How are you committed to it? How are you practicing? How are you showing your commitment? How are you feeling the commitment? How oh. Okay. Um commitment and practice. It demands that we as an African people define, defend, and develop ourselves instead of allowing or encouraging others to do this. Define, defend, and develop ourselves instead of asking, help us. Can you help? I need your help. How have you all been? I've been well. It requires that we recover lost memory and once again shape our world and our image and interest. And also, I feel like we need to pay attention and acknowledge and tune into the ways in which we are shaping our world and our image, the ways in which we are creating for ourselves. We need to celebrate that. The ways in which we are defining ourselves, speaking for ourselves, saying our truth. I feel like our truths our true truths, we need to big that up and celebrate it. We need to search that out and blow it up, because they say that what you focus on grows. Multitasking, as always, says Ayapo Yapa. So how can we seek out and celebrate and highlight and acknowledge the ways in which we personally, we as families, we as communities are practicing Kuji Chagalia? Okay. um It requires that we recover lost memory and once again shape our world in our own image and interest. And it is a call to recover and speak our own special truth to the world and raise images above the earth that reflect our capacity for human greatness and progress. So, yeah, just managing our images. Okay, so Kuji Chagalia, paragraph one. So when I say Habaragani, which I think means like what's the news, what's the word for the day, you say Kuji Chagalia. Kuji Chagalia is spelled Kujichagulia. Ku, Kujji, Cha, Cha, Gu, Gu, Leah, Lia, Leah, Kuji Chagalia. Okay. Now we move on to the second segment of the show. It's called Yo, What Up Though? What Up Though? Okay. Let's find the words of the Buddha today. Let's find the Pariyati daily words of the Buddha. See if the Buddha had anything that we could use today. The doer of good rejoices here and hereafter. Yo, Buddha, what up though? How is the royal family? Says True Royal Family. Hey, True Royal Family. 17. The doer of good rejoices here and hereafter, now and later. One rejoices in both the worlds. You know how they tell you sometimes, oh, you're going to get your reward in heaven. One rejoices and exults, recollecting one's own pure deeds. They saying when you doing the right thing, when you're doing good things, you feel good about it. Even when you think about it, you feel good. So it's like you get the good feeling of doing, you get the good feeling of thinking about it. It's okay. So that's the Buddha. It's been about an hour since I've been through my news feed. So I don't know if anybody knows anything about that they want to share. I don't know if anyone was shot or anything. I was going to say, oh, I'll go to my active news feed and then loop back to what I already did. But I only have until 3:15. And sometimes I might be here for 2 hours because it's been a week since I've been here. So we going to have to let that be on the next one. This is welcome to Notes on the News. Notes on the News, also known as Not News, is where I share with you headlines from the news, mostly that I have looked at the news and some headlines caught my attention for whatever reason, and so they're part of my personal feed. I'm going to share with you the headlines, and we may or we may not talk about the headline. We may or may not talk about the article. We may or may not have read the article, or read a paragraph in the article or skimmed the article. We might have done in-depth research on the article, but this is not like an in-depth analysis of the news. It's a survey of what's going on generally in the world, and not so much in terms of what's going on generally in the world, but trying to synthesize it and understand it for our upliftment and our betterment and our clarification. So it's not news, it's just my notes on the news. Let us proceed with the notes on the news feed. Did I say I'm Angela and the channel is Be Fabulous You? Like, share. I said like, share, comment, subscribe, but I think I jumped in weird. Thank you for the likes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. Oh, let me tell you. Let me give you this information while I'm before I even go into the other thing. Just so that you'll know. Costa Rica 2019. Costa Rica. Costa Rica. February 13th through the 20th are the dates. I don't know. Oh, I was gonna say I don't know. Okay. Jimco Travel Co. presents Costa Rica 2019. Journey with us for spiritual healing, cultural, educational renewal tour to Costa Rica, February 13th through 20th, 2019. Places of interest include Limon, African diaspora region, San Jose capital city, Nicoya Peninsula, world designated blue zone for life and longevity, the Pacific Coast, exotic eco-friendly lodging, spas, beautiful rainforests, and much more. The tour price is $2,000 per person based on double occupancy. Airfare, lodging, transfers, transportation, all breakfast, and some dinner meals. The suggested payment is $400 per month. Balance is due January 18, 2019. And you can contact the group leaders are Ivy Thomas Riley, 313-930-5684, Pitch Black Poetry at hotmail.com, PITCH BLACK POETRY at hotmail.com. Who does Hotmail anymore? Hotmail is a hot mess, is it? That's the only way I remembered that it was hotmail.com. Kwamina Mensa, 313-506-9736. And the email is Amenra628. That's AMENRA 628 at AOL.com. AOL, who does AOL? And then Joyce Malika Barnes at 313-310-0373. And the email is jimkelmalika at AOL.com. JEMKLMALIKA at AOL.com. Okay, let's jump into the news feed. Costa Rica. Costa Rica! Greyhound joins the modern era with, I'm waiting for this to come up, but with e-tickets on iPhones. Now, I took a Greyhound bus about maybe 2 months ago. Hotmail, Ayapo says Hotmail originally stood for HTML mail, not Hotmail. Oh yeah, fun fact. Oh yeah, I think I've heard that before, maybe from you. So I took a Greyhound bus maybe like 2 months ago. I took it twice, one way and then the other way. And I'm glad that they have these e-tickets because I bought my ticket. Like I had to go to like a 7-Eleven. I don't even know where 7-Eleven is. I had to find one and go to it and pay for it. It was like a mess kind of. And then the stuff that they had emailed me or text me, it didn't really work at the 7-Eleven. It was like I don't know. And then I had to get some other stuff, and it was like a little, where were you going? Oh, I was going to visit a friend. It was kind of like a little bit of a mess. And then finally, when everything got through, then I got to the bus station, and the bus was supposed to leave at like 9:30 at night. And then at like 10:15 or something, they're like, oh, the bus isn't leaving till 12:30. And then some people actually left the bus station, I think, because if I had driven myself, I probably would have left the bus station, but it was like, and I'm like, well, when is the bus leaving? So I didn't leave. And then about 10:30, 11, like not that much later after they told us it wasn't leaving until 12:30, the bus came and it left. And so that was kind of chaotic. It was late, and then they gave misinformation. And I'm like, what about the people who already left and were planning to come back at 12:30? The bus is not going to be here at 12:30. And then coming back, it seemed like it was some mess and some confusion. So I think it's good that they have e-tickets in a way, but I think it would be better and that was just 2 rides, but coming back, there was some little mess and confusion. I think it's good to have e-tickets, but I think it's better to be on schedule. So I think they need to be in the modern era, or maybe they need to loop back to like the old fashioned era and just leave when you say you're going to leave or pretty close to it, and don't give people misinformation. It made me kind of like, I was kind of like, oh, a Greyhound bus, but it made me kind of like, oh, a Greyhound bus. It's kind of like put a sour taste in my mouth. I don't care for it. Outrage after Memphis police failed to activate. This is not news. This is not really news. I'm reading the story, but I really am not going to make any comment on it because it's kind of like the same story again and again and again and again. Outrage after Memphis police failed to activate body cams before fatally shooting Black man in the back. So prayers out to the man who lost his life and his family and his community, and to all of us who continue to be violated in this way by the violence. Hey, Sonia Sees. Is that you on Twitter who messaged me, or I saw something? Hong Kong yoga ball, man found guilty of killing wife and daughter. Now he had put some sort of like something in the yoga ball, and then he put the yoga ball in the car in the trunk, and then he put the wife and the child in the car in the trunk, and then the gas escaped from the yoga ball. And I guess it's sort of like when people go into the garage. So sad. Again. Yeah, again. Hey, Raquel. And then he put the yoga ball, and then you know how when people are like in the garage and they like trying to commit suicide, so they turn on the car and then the gas has killed them. I guess he put that kind of gas in the yoga ball and it killed his wife and child. And then he told somebody, and I think one child he didn't kill. And then he told somebody, "Oh, I put the chemicals in the in the yoga ball because I was trying to kill rats at home." But then he told somebody else he put the chemicals in the ball because he was trying to kill raccoons or something. It was weird. The whole thing. I was like, I don't know. But anyway, he was found guilty of killing his wife and daughter. This was in Hong Kong. White Alabama teen causes outrage after posting a photo. They love to post these photos. Posting a photo standing on a black classmate along with the caption, "We got us one." Now, when I first read it, I was like, teens? And then I'm like, well, maybe well, how old are the teens? So I'm like, I didn't read the story, but I'm like, how old is this black child that laid down on the ground and let 6 people stand on top of them and take a picture? Oh, and even if they don't take a picture, what teen lets people stand on top of them? So I'm like, is this some young person who's like developmentally disabled that they've like I don't understand. Like I'm trying to imagine myself like, oh, okay, yeah, let's take a picture. Okay, was he African? I don't know if he was African. Why? Is that common in Africa? I'm trying to imagine myself like, okay, yeah, we're going to take a picture. Yeah, I'll lay down on the floor and the 6 of y'all stand on top of me. I'm not even thinking about the caption, but I'm just thinking about the process of posing and taking the picture. I don't really understand how exactly that went down. Like any team, I don't understand who's laying in the ground and letting people stand on them and why. So that was kind of confusing. And then in the picture, how crazy is this? And then it's like, well, it was all consensual. Everybody volunteered to do it because we're all friends. I mean, obviously to us, they not friends, but yeah, and they love to post photos. We got us one. No, they abuse African students all the time in America. Oh, yeah. So that story is coming off of Google. I hadn't heard it. I didn't see it coming across any of the black blogs. But anyway, Howard University teams up with Google to give Black and Latinx a foothold in Silicon Valley. To them, it's the American way. Oh, dogging out African students. Oh, so that's coming off of the Griot, if anybody's interested in that. I thought it was kind of interesting because I'm like, wow, I know that there is a tradition in this country of native folks. There are actually like a network of historically native colleges and universities. Most of them may be 2-year colleges, but I'm not really sure, dogging out black people. I'm not really sure. But I'm like, is there like a tradition of Latino colleges? Like I was kind of like, well, why is Howard involved with the recruiting the Latino students? I don't know if there are a lot of Latino students I don't know how to say Latinx. I don't know how you say that word, so I always just say Latino. But I know it's like I should say Latinx. I don't know. But so no offense, but so I'm like, is it a lot of like Spanish speaking or people who were, colonized by Spanish speaking people who go to Howard? Like, what's the connection? Are they just like, well, we're black, so we can get the Latin? Like, I was just kind of like, that's interesting. There's no, I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, they trying to give black and brown folks a foothold in Silicon Valley. That's coming off the Griot if you want to read the story. Yes, 2-year colleges went out west, most on the res. Yeah, on the res, says Sonia. Venezuela's migration crisis. Is enough being done? So I guess the Venezuelans have been migrating out of their country for a couple of years, according to this article. And it seems like I only started hearing about like the crisis, or maybe noticing or paying attention to the crisis in Venezuela over the last maybe 6 months. It doesn't seem like I've been hearing about it for 2 years, but the article is basically saying that even though some countries are starting to get saturated and starting to make like rules and laws now, like, hey, you can't come in here no more. They are going to take over the HBCUs, though, says Sonia Sees, maybe talking about Native folks or Latin folks or Spanish-speaking folks. And then I feel like the whole, like, because a lot of Spanish speaking people, just like a lot of French speaking people, are just as black as me or you. They just happen to speak Spanish or French and not English. And just like I identify in a way, to my shame, with America, some of them identify in a way with, Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic or wherever they from. Latinxes. Latinxes. Um, so the article basically was like basically the people around the countries around Venezuela have been very receptive to migrants from Venezuela. They've been very gracious, they've been very accommodating, more accommodating than other regions of the world in general in terms of accepting people in a crisis. The idea that Venezuela is in a humanitarian crisis and are these people refugees, and I kind of I did skim the article, and I didn't commit to memory the definition of refugees, but it sort of caused me to understand in a way like, oh, like if people are leaving where they're from because it's like war crimes, devastation, famine, like they getting up and leaving because it's like some sort of crisis, then it's almost like am a black Latina, so to say, but I don't think I have to take what belongs to you just because I'm black. Yeah, well, I don't know about taking what I don't like. I don't know. Maybe because as I came into my consciousness in a way, like in Detroit growing up, I definitely had a black consciousness, but I think I was just like the whole world is like black or white. And then when I went to New York, I think I was kind of like, oh, with some people who I think of as black, they identify culturally, and I can understand that because I identify culturally. And some people who I thought, are they black or white, I don't really know how to define, but anyway. And I was married to a Jamaican, and I got involved with like people who were like from all over the African diaspora. And so I don't know, like the way I process it, I've started to notice here recently is different from the way that some other people process it. So I kind of feel like, who would want somebody is like, well, we, got dropped off in different places, but we basically the same people. And I kind of like, yeah, yeah. But they're saying that Venezuela has been very accommodating of the refugees, that people, Latina is a racial term in America, although it's not, but it is a racial designation in America. A lot of forms Sonia sees that I say Hispanic, black, like Hispanic, black, Hispanic, white, or whatever. It seems to like make the distinction. And it's just like in this country, some people are American and they're black, some people are American and they're white, some people are American. I mean, I guess we're all, I don't want to talk about race because we're all, I don't want to talk, I don't, so this whole idea of refugees and like people who are like in crisis, and how do you receive people who are in crisis, and like it's sort of like in your house, like you might be able to take in one person who's having a crisis, or maybe two or three people who are having a crisis, but then it is confusing. Or I don't know if it's, yeah, or you might be able to take in one or two people who are like, oh my gosh, they're coming from a bad situation, let me help them. But then if like 20 or 30 people were like knocking at your door like, help me, how can you help them all? I mean, like, how do you, at some point you might get like overwhelmed in terms of your ability to help, you know? And so I think that's kind of like what the article was saying in terms of Venezuelan, like that, even though it looks like there's some attention that's being paid to the fact that people are being turned away, that in general, the people in that region have been very accommodating to the Venezuelans. I don't know if it's true or not. Indian man held for inhumane torture of his sister. It was a man and his wife. And we've been talking today a couple of times about women who are involved with the rape and torture. What you done did to Bella. The rape and torture. Uh, the rape and torture you see her, the rape and torture of women. So like this medical student, think we are the same, but when we come here we keep in mind that who fought for us to be able to be here. Your ancestors have done. Respect for you. Yeah, I mean, I think, I mean, I think that we have a lot in common, and I think that it's important for us to, I feel like y'all my cousins, y'all my, that's my y'all family. So we didn't grow up in the same house, but you still family to me. You know what I mean? Um, yeah. And that's not always the case. Yeah, we definitely have some challenges in how we communicate with one another. I think, and sometimes, but I like, yeah, I just some like I feel like it's ignorance. All like it's a lot of Black Americans who are very ignorant and rude. So just because I encounter some Jamaicans who are ignorant and rude, I don't think that all Jamaicans are ignorant and rude at all. So this man and his wife, the woman is like 50 years old. They say she look about 90. Her sister, the police came in through the front, or tried to come in through the front door. They couldn't come in through the front door. Then they had to like scale the balcony or something, get the woman. She 50, she looked like she 90. They ain't been feeding her. They've been abusing her. The man who's her brother and his wife. And it's like, why is the wife participating in this? Why is the brother doing this to his sister? What's wrong with people? And then it made me kind of think about, this doctor and his girlfriend who they say are out there, Enrique Taio, yo no sé, Afro-Cuban leads white supremacy group in Florida. Oh my God. Some people have issues. The doctor who they say him and his girlfriend have been, they have a whole bunch of videos of women who were like intoxicated beyond consent from appearances, and that they've been drugging women. They've been accused of like drugging and raping women, and how the woman participates in it is a co-signer in it, and I'm thinking that probably makes the other women feel more comfortable. And then I think the child's name is Smart, who had been kidnapped by the religious man and his wife and held captive for 10-20 years. That's what happens when two sickos get together. Yes. Instead of elevating one another, they like devolve to the like lowest common denominator. Or I don't know. I hope yeah. And so, but just like, who are these women who are participating in this? Like, I just feel like even if that's your husband's sister, I'd be like, well, I wouldn't want my brother to treat me like that. Women participate in many child kidnappings. Yes, Sonia sees. And that kind of trips me out. Like, I guess I'm like sensitive in a way that like a lot of times I'm always thinking about me. Maybe that's selfish and not sensitive. I like to think that I'm sensitive, but maybe I'm just selfish. I'd be like, I wouldn't want that to happen to me. Oh, what if that happened to me? Me. That's all I'm thinking about. But that's how I think about it. I think like, shoot, I wouldn't want my brother. If my brother was dogging me out, I would hope that his wife would be like, now hold on one second. We're not going to have Angela out here on the balcony starving to death. I do have a little brother. Maybe when I get old, him and his wife will dog me out. If I don't have anybody else to care for me but my little brother, maybe, and I would want his wife to be like, oh, we're going to treat Angela good. Come on in the house and eat. That's not funny because this woman was really abused. So, but I'm just saying, I think of it like that. Inhumane torture of sisters. So that's going on in India. Mexico corpse trailer. Jalisco forensic chief Luis Octavio Cotero fired. So there's this trailer, and it was like in one neighborhood, and the people are like, it stinks. Get it out of the neighborhood. The morgue, and this is in some community in Mexico, has run out of room for dead bodies. And so they put the dead bodies in a refrigerated trailer. And the refrigerated trailer, which I don't understand. I thought the whole point of the refrigeration is so that it's not smelling, like it's supposed to keep the bodies on ice. Like they keep meat frozen or in the whatever for years. Women who've been degraded and have low self-esteem, abandonment issues will do anything for male validation, says Sonia Sees. And ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? We're desperados. That's why we have to work on developing and growing ourselves and support each other and growing and developing, so that, hey, love like the sun, so that we can be like emotionally evolved human beings, so that we can have a consciousness, so that we can be kind and gentle to ourselves and one another. So the trailer is full. So I'm okay. So first of all, I'm like, don't they keep meat? Like, can't you keep meat frozen for like 5-10 years? So they can't keep the bodies, like the bodies, if they're in a refrigerated trailer, I'm thinking you shouldn't be able to smell them. But they were smelling so bad. Apparently, one neighborhood is like, we don't want that stinky trailer full of dead people in our neighborhood, so move it. So they moved it to another neighborhood. And I saw an article, uplift our women, uplift the race. That's right, says Sonia Sees. And they moved it to another neighborhood. And when I saw the article, the other neighborhood was complaining like, it stinks like dead people, and y'all got to get that refrigerated trailer out of our community. We don't want to smell the people decomposing. And so now I guess the person who is the forensic chief has been fired. I guess, I don't know. Is the trailer broken? Is it supposed to be frozen, not refrigerated? I mean, I don't understand. Renault's Easy Pro is a workplace coffee truck and rolling post office. So this is like an automated car, except for like it's an automated, like it's got a workstation inside, and it can like drive out into the street, and then the person who's working inside could be like, okay, pod A, you go over here and deliver these packages, and pod B, you open up and you become a post office so people can walk up and use you. It sounds very like 2095 or something. Like it's like very futuristic. It seems it's coming off of Engadget.com. Easy Pro, Renault's Easy Pro. I didn't really explain it very well, but when I skimmed the article, it was like, wow, bowels and stuff empty when you die. I'm just saying the refrigeration though, that doesn't, the refrigeration, I don't know. Strawberry needle scare. Australia PM vows crackdown on cowards. So apparently people are the Jetsons. People are putting in Australia. Remember when I was a kid, you may not, this may, when we were kids, some of us remember when they started putting razor blades in the trick or treat candy of children. And so they like had this whole thing where it changed. Like a lot of times people didn't go door to door to trick or treat anymore. They started going to parties and things with people you knew, so that it wasn't like you were getting candy from strangers. But it seems like in your neighborhood, the people wouldn't be strangers because they're your neighbors. Are your neighbors trying the refrigerated poop? Right. If you refrigerate the poop, don't it smell better? Less smell? But your neighbors, why they trying to put razor blades in the children? And I don't understand why. Like, I'm like, now I'm going to go out of my way to go to the grocery store or go to the plant and put needles in strawberries so that somebody that I don't know eats a strawberry and gets a needle stuck in them. Like, why would I do that? Like, it seemed like if I was mad, like I'm mad at Bella, I'm gonna stick her with a needle. I mean, that seemed a little crazy, but it seemed like at least it's like Bella did right, insane. It's like, at least it's like, well, that Bella, she pooped in my house, so I'm gonna stick her with a needle. But it seemed like, why are you going out of your way and spending your time and energy? Even when I was a kid, this is an old white tradition. Oh, says Sonia Sees. Why would you go out of your way to, like, sick beast behavior? Only beasts do that, love, like the sun says. Right. It's so weird. Like, why would you do that? Now, I can kind of almost see if you're working in a big factory and like it's your job and the people treat you really, really bad, like the people who run the corporation treat you really, really bad. It's two women painters painting next door. You don't really see very many women. They treat you really bad, and so you work at a job and you're angry, and so you might do stuff to like sabotage their business. Like, I'm gonna remember the guy. What it was like within the last year, we heard about the person who was working at Wendy's who was putting boo boo in the Wendy's chili. He was going into the bathroom, and then one day somebody noticed him coming out, and they were like, "What is he doing?" And that's how it was discovered. So I could see like, now that person was probably, and I guess even if I worked in a place and I was like mad at the place, I can't see myself being like, well, I'm gonna like, poison the people who are buying the products. I don't know. Maybe in a convoluted way you're hurting the company. But yeah, I don't know. But anyway, the Australian PM, he vows a crackdown on the cowards who are putting the needles in a Yapo. There's no way for our people to understand that behavior because it's alien to us. There's no way for us to relate to it. Yeah. I told you I used to date somebody, our minds are not geared that way, who was like, if you understand crazy, then that would make you crazy. So don't try to understand crazy. Now I forget how he used to say it, but that's basically the point. Um, Sonia sees the white guy in New Orleans jacking off in black people's food. That's kind of disgusting. Is that what the person was doing at the restaurant? Was he jacking off? For some reason, I didn't read the article. Yeah, I thought he was. Yeah, that's disgusting. I'm not saying that spit is less disgusting, but I thought he was doing something like spitting in the food. He was jacking off. That is really okay. Arrest in Georgia church for selling edible marijuana. So apparently these people, I guess the church was having like a bake sale or something, and I guess these people were regularly like posting up on Facebook, "Hey, I got these edible brownies. I got these I'm just gonna say brownies because, yeah, it's disgusting. I'm just gonna say brownies but I'm sure it was other things other than brownies, but they were posting up on their Facebook or social media, come on and get these brownies, and then they had let the people know on social media, we gonna be at this church selling, these edible marijuana, but I think it's edibles. And so the cops had seen the stuff, I guess, on social media, and they decided to go on over to the church to see what they was doing, and they arrested the people. I guess I have a lot of thoughts about that. One, I think that even though I don't think that's something I personally, I I've never had edible before. I'm not opposed to people smoking. I don't personally smoke, but I'm not opposed to it. I'm more offended by people who drink alcohol. That's the thing that kind of like gets like it seemed like they be drunk and blowing their breath in your face. And then when some people when they drunk, I guess they cool and I don't notice. But other people when they drunk, I'm like I don't really like to be around them. And then they seem like drunk driving is an issue. That seems like more of an issue to me than marijuana. But since all black crew is safer, but since it is illegal in this system, I don't think you should be posting certain things on social media. And maybe sometimes we get too comfortable, like we just be on the live and we kicking it and we talking and we say this and we say that and we forget, so we have to try to stay conscious of, just stay woke, stay woke. So yeah, I kind of feel like I don't really feel like they should have been arrested, but I really wish they hadn't I wish they had, because they was probably helping some people out. Because a lot of people say that the edibles like help with nausea or help with whatever. Because a lot of people have a lot of good things to say about their experience with Mary Jane, with marijuana. And so they was probably helping some people out. So I kind of feel bad in a way, that they, you know, yeah. So they got to arrest Georgia. I was hoping when I read it that it was Georgia as in the country, but it's Georgia as in the state. We are way safe. Okay. A doctor who was on reality TV and his girlfriend have been charged with drugging and raping two women. Now, I can't remember what the reality TV show was, but this is the man I was talking about earlier who was, they have all these videos apparently of all these drunk people. Why they think social media is on their side. Why we think that, Sonia? Giant spider web cloaks land in Italico, Greece. As a matter of fact, after I read this morning before I went on my walk. And when I was walking, Bella pulled me and I ended up going through some bushes and I had like spider web like all over my face and my glasses and my face. Mary Jane is good for nausea and probably in my hair. And I forgot all about that until that. And I was like, what in the world? But I had kind of gone through, it's not like a normal path because she like pulled me and I lost my balance and went in the wrong direction. And it was like, I felt like I was just covered in spider webs. And then one of the women I was walking with is like, oh my God, I have a whole abundance of spider webs on my, in my yard or whatever this year. And I was like, huh, I just read an article today about a giant spider web, and it's the one of the land some place in Greece. Are you noticing? You should have taken a picture. I didn't have my phone with me, but it was like I was like, are my glasses ruined? Because it was like the lines were like going across, and it almost seemed like when I wiped, like it wouldn't come off, and I was like, oh, Bella. Colombian bus fare dodgers made to mop floors in Bogota just in time for Halloween. Yeah. So the people, I guess it's common according to this article for people to, like, you pay your fare and you're going through the turnstile and then somebody will push through with you or just jump the turnstile or whatever. In New York, it seemed like I have seen in the years that I lived there, let's say I lived there for 10 years. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. But let's say I lived there 10 years. It seemed like I saw maybe 3 or 4 people that I noticed who were not paying their fares. And to me, it seemed like the type of crime where if somebody catch you, then okay, you're busted. But I don't know if it need to be like a whole big sting operation or a big deal. I don't really know. I hadn't really thought that deeply about it. But some people were like happy that they like, and they had pictures posted up on social media. The government is like, we got these fare dodgers and we're making them mop the floors, and they had pictures of them and stuff up. South African gangs threaten rare sea snail existence. So these gangs are gathering up like snails, like mollusks, like snails, like those kind of snails, and they're exporting them because I guess that they're worth money. Now, it kind of makes you think about the fact that a lot of gangs are involved with organized illegal activity, but they're kind of like business endeavors, but they're business endeavors a lot of times that are like prohibition. So it's illegal to drink alcohol. So we're going to start this business where we're getting alcohol to people who want alcohol. It's illegal to smoke crack. So we're going to start this business or run this business to get crack to people who want to smoke crack. It's illegal for people to these mollusks, maybe because they're a species of abalone known as Haliotius medae should be given special protection. So I guess they're rare. They're highly prized by restaurants in China. This China Africa connection is interesting. But anyway, they're who wants snails? They're highly prized by restaurants in China. And don't isn't escargot snails? So the French eat snails. And then are they edible? I think they are edible. Yeah. And then I think I was listening to somebody's recap of some of before the days, like 90 Day Fiance, and one of the couples is in Nigeria, and they're like they serve this white woman who's marrying this 50-year-old 50 60-year-old white woman who's supposed to be married or engaged, involved with this 30-year-old black African Nigerian guy, some rare Nigerian delicacy of snails. So snails, I guess, are just really more popular than we realize. But I remember as a child, it was like escargot. Oh, nobody's gonna eat snails. um it's only found, this affected species is only found off the coast of South Africa. um Traffic wants it to be put on the global list of endangered species. About 96 million abalone are thought to have been poached since 20,000. Yeah, since 20,000. So it's interesting. It's not even an endangered species, and it's considered poaching. I guess does it have to be on the endangered species list to be smoking? I mean, to be poaching. Are large and round and cling to the rocks in the shallow shark-infested waters off Cape Town. Mostly by air. They're mostly smuggled abroad by air to Hong Kong and beyond, where they are rehydrated and served as a gastronomic treat. So anyway, it's gang activity. Like it's like when I think of gangs though, you're like they have guns and they are like, prostitution or like, and I don't know, I guess maybe it is like if the species is endangered, maybe it is like bad behavior to be taking them. Hey, I see. Maybe it is bad behavior to be taking them, but it's not the same type of bad behavior in my mind. I mean, I'm here for the animals. I love a Bella dog. But to as like raping and like forcing people into prostitution or selling crack. See, crack to me is different from marijuana. But anyway, yeah, that's what's going on in South Africa, according to the drug gangs. The study also found that economic disparities in South Africa's Western Cape province had driven poor communities to get involved in the illegal poaching. So yeah, that's kind of like where I started. Like, so they're illegally poaching snails. It's probably because they need money and it's good money. Yes, escargots are snails. French people eat them. It's a delicacy. Yeah. Local drug gangs are believe they have whole cohorts of people along the coast that are involved. I feel like it's like a business. Now I wonder what it does to the ecology, like to taking the snails and all of that. But I can understand when people need money to eat and things like that, why they're involved with certain activities. That's just me. That's how I feel. US Open champion Osaka dominant on return to action in Japan. So Osaka is half part Haitian and part Japanese, half and half, I guess. So she's now the US Open champion. Remember, she beat Serena Williams, but it was kind of like by default because Serena in the or maybe not Serena, but maybe the person who was like the referee had some issue with Serena, and it became an issue, and then they fined her or penalized her to the point where she done lost to the child who was, But anyway, so Osaka, so she's returning to action in Japan. I think she won a game or something like that. Osaka. Serena Williams got robbed from the title, says Kendra. Yeah, you think they was just tired? Oh, Serena, Serena, Serena. So they tried to like instigate some drama with her. And now that she's a mother, she might have a whole nother attitude. She might be like, I don't give a care. In a way that before she was like all polite and nice. Maybe now she's not as polite and nice as she used to be, since she's a mother and everything. Maybe her perspective has changed. Maybe her hormones have shifted. Man, they just hate to see a black gang get rich off some snails. Brothers can't catch a break, says Sonia Sees. U.S. surgeon and girlfriend suspected of multiple drug rapes. We talked about that. Sesame Workshop says Bert and Ernie are best friends and not gay. On the talk today or something, they were saying that Bert and Ernie are children, that Big Bird is a child, Bert and Ernie is a child, that the Muppets that you see on the Muppet Show are adults and the other Muppets are children, the ones who stay on the street, like stay at home. I was like, who knew all of that about the Muppets? Does anybody know? I don't know who the Muppets are. It shows how they have been always on Serena, says Sonia Sees. I don't know who the Muppets are. And I think that it's interesting. I thought I only started hearing about Bert and Ernie being gay maybe about 5, 10, 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. I just kind of thought it was funny because I think that art is like that. Like you can project a lot onto, no, they are gay. I think you can project a lot onto people's work that maybe they didn't intend. Maybe it was in their subconscious, or maybe it was like a deliberate, statement. But the people say they just friends. They friends, they sleep in separate, like Lucy and her husband, and they just friends, they roommates, they kicking it. But the people on the View said they are children. They are Muppets, mega gay, says Sonia Sees. How can they be children in their own apartment? Do they have their own apartment or their own room? You can tell I never watched Sesame Street. I didn't like Sesame Street so much. Like I like some of the number stuff, but I like the Electric Company. Hey, you guys! Remember the Electric Company? That's all I remember, though, that yelling and carrying on. That's what I like, the yelling and carrying on. So anyway, it's a big, the Sesame Workshop say they not gay. So that's it. Apartment. They have always had an apartment, says Ayapo Yapa. I didn't know. I remember they had this thing, like one of these things is not like the other one. I have to watch Sesame Street. I don't know. I see clips here and there, but I don't know if I remember watching as a child, or if I did, I don't. At least they were not flagrant out there like humans, says Sonia Sees. They weren't flaming. Yes, Bernie. Yes. I don't know. Well, every gay person is not flaming like that, Everybody expresses it. People are flaming. What's the child from Married to Medicine? She's claiming they trying to learn numbers and letters and how to be nice and treat your neighbor. Right. Emmy Awards 2018, Sandra Oh's mother rocks hanbok on red carpet. Hanbok. Now, apparently, a hanbok is a traditional Korean piece of attire. I kind of like this article because I always like to see, like, I kind of feel like it's so many different types of people in the world, and I like when people are like expressing who they are and like their culture, and like it's good to see some variety. But they gay as F. They gay AF, says Sonia sees. So Sonia, oh, I guess she's Korean. I didn't know she was Korean. I thought she looks Asian, but I didn't really know what her heritage was. But I guess she's Korean, and her mother wore a traditional Korean outfit. They say that's never been done on the red carpet, as far as what anybody could find out or whatever. So that's cool. I like it. I like to see people express their culture. And then she was shocked because her mother kissed her, and I guess in the Korean context, it's not really common to display affection publicly. That's what I think I gathered. But I'm like always here for somebody wearing something other than like just, it's like more than Europe in the world. I mean, damn, gosh darn, can't we see some like variety and some interest and some, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Nicolas Maduro, fury over Venezuela's leaders sought Bay feast. So I guess he's the president of Venezuela, and he was on social media. Now they say he was out here trying to raise money for Venezuela. I like the cultural attire also, says Sonia Sees. Now they say the man was out here trying to raise money for Venezuela, but I guess there's someone who's like a cook, a chef, and he's known. Remember when what's the guy who used to be like bam and he put his spice on his food? This guy is known as Salt Bay, and I guess he puts his salt on his meat. Yes, Asian, and not to show affection at all. Yes, Asian 10, not to show affection at all, says Kendra. So I guess this Salt Bay, I guess he's known for putting his salt on his meat. I think his meat in a special way. So he's known as Salt Bay. So the man was at Salt Bay's restaurant. He said he's trying to raise money for Venezuela. But the Venezuelans are like, look, we like to eat meat. We can't hardly get no meat anymore because of the way the economy is the country is. And you out here on social media eating meat and having a feast when we starving. Not only can we not get meat, which we like, but we can't even get basic food like rice and beans. So it's like it's not a good look. Now he didn't post it up on social media. I think Salt Bay, Emerald Lagasse, bam! Is that what he used to do? But this guy is Salt Bay. I didn't see any of his videos. Hey, Mr. Awesome Anthony. Is that your tagline when you speak to people? You always say, you are so awesome. You're awesome too. So there's fury. The people are mad, and people be hangry. When you hungry, you angry. And then especially like if you like something and then you see somebody eating something that you like and you can't, they mad. They mad at them. They mad. So yeah, I hear that Salt Bay has taken it down. It's just, it didn't end up looking good. What's the deal with the meat out there? They really love pork. Oh, I thought like there's some regions of the world where people are really into like beef. I thought they were into beef, but yeah, because I know the Spanish in Spain, I think I shouldn't say I know, but I had the impression that they're really into pork. Because we did an article the other day when they were saying that the Spanish people, there are more pigs in Spain than there are people because they got a whole pig industry. And when we saw them on the Real Housewives, it was like a whole pig thing going on, you could see. So yeah. Audience booed. It is LOL. I have encouragement days here in my town. I want to keep people encouraged. Oh, yay. You're fabulous. Be fabulous, you. Mr. Encourager. Audience booed GOP Senate candidate for saying African Americans beg for government scraps. Belgium chips set to shrink due to drought. Oh, chips as in, I think it was in New York, but there used to be this place, this little restaurant I used to go to. It was like a little bitty itty restaurant. Boo! You talking about that, the foolishness of the GOP? Yeah, we boo too, but it's not even like It's just like boo, boo. There used to be this little restaurant I used to go to, but it was just like literally like a whole, like a little, it was smaller than the car, and all they did was fry up French fries. And that's the first time when I ever had French fries. I didn't have them, but I saw that they had mayonnaise as a topping that you could put on the French fries. I don't like mayonnaise, tartar sauce, all that white creamy stuff. It's not for me. I don't know, but I just don't eat it. But they would put mayonnaise on, and you would go, and it would be like in a cone, and they would fry those fries up, and they were just so delicious. They were like so delicious. Like, a lot of times French fries and potatoes are good, but it just seemed like they were like better than good. I don't know. They were just delicious, and I kept trying to like get off them and stop eating them, but it was like they were just really, really delicious. So that's what they mean by chips, like these French fries. And I would put ketchup on mine because that's how I like to eat my French fries. But I guess there's a drought going on. Drought. They don't have a lot of water in Belgium, and so their potato supply, I guess, is having an issue. I didn't even know. I mean, I guess I should have known because them French fries were just so delicious. Yapo Yapo says everyone goes to Washington hat in hand looking for money. When we demand money that we should be getting anyway. I couldn't read the rest of it. Why do you beg hat in hand? Do you put your hat in your hand so they can put the money in the hat? Is that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Don't nobody care about these dumb butts. So yeah, but those French fries, they were delicious. And when I was in, it seemed like it was like I was in India someplace, and there was some restaurant I went to. It was like on the beach, and it was like they say we're begging because they be projecting, because they be always begging and stealing all over. But it seemed like it was some other potato dish, and it was really, really delicious. And I think it was European too, but I don't know. But it was like fried potatoes, and then they flip it over, and it's just crispy. And hat in hand is a sign of contrition and humility, says Ayapo Yapa. The heartbreaking photo that raised $43,000 in one day. I think this was like an Indian father who had died, and his boy, what did he die from? And his son, who was like 11 or 10 years old, was just like came and was like, oh daddy, or was like really, really sad, and someone took a picture. But the boy said something when he went there. I can't remember what the man does, but somebody posted their potatoes are good. Somebody, and I oh, look at the baby. Yeah, he got a photograph of a boy weeping next to his father's body moved Indian social media. Um, the man was 37 years old, and he was a sewer worker in the capital of Delhi. He died when the rope lowering him into a sewer snapped, causing him to fall inside. By some estimates, about 100 sewer workers die in India every year. I wonder if that's 100. Are there like 150 sewer workers? Is it like 1,000 sewer workers? Is it 10%? Is it 75%? Is it 2%? And how common is it to die in other professions? I mean, I'm just curious. But rest in peace to the man, and just prayers out to his family and his community. And that's the image that raised $43,000. So I think the man has like 5 children or something like that. That's his 11-year-old son. But his family couldn't afford the cremation cost. He also has 2 daughters, aged 7 and 3, so he has a total of 3 children. So they're hoping that the money will help with the children's education, I think. So yeah. Rest in peace. Why haven't 9 people arrested for protesting police shooting of Botham Jean been released? So I guess that some people were protesting the fact that the police killed Botham Jean, that this white woman went to the man's apartment and with some dumb lie. India is more brutal than anywhere in Africa, says Sonia Sees. So the people were protesting this man's murder, and I guess they got arrested, even though I saw on Twitter somebody was like, yeah, they in jail, and homegirl is sitting at home being paid for murdering somebody. But why haven't they been released? That's what the griot is asking. Why have these people who have been arrested not been released? Why are they arresting for protesting? I know it's America, that's the answer, but I'm just saying, Sometimes we pretend to like ask these questions like we really don't know the answer or really don't understand what's going on, because on some level it is kind of like it's some bull. How do you like understanding what's going on? It's like it's a mess. But so it's been 9 people who have been arrested for protesting the police shooting, and they have not been released. You can check out the story on the Grio. McDonald's workers strike over sexual harassment policy. The workers, and most of them seem to be like younger women. They're like, my this person wrote me, my colleague said this, and one young woman is like, she told her supervisor, because of course when you start working there, they're like, sexual harassment is not allowed, report it to your supervisor. And she said, look, he grabbed my butt, or he said this to me. And then the supervisor said something like, well, you were probably giving off sexual vibes. So the workers are going on strike over the policy. I don't know if it's over the policy, but probably over the lack of enforcement of said policy. Y'all say y'all have a policy that this ain't cool, but you're not acting like it's not cool when I tell you that I've had an issue. And I wonder, is it mostly women going on strike? Is it men? Like I'm just curious about it. Yasuku Maezawa, the Japanese billionaire who wants to fly to the moon. Tonight is the game. Can't have white folks missing their games now, says Sonia Sees. Sonia C says, latest she heard the woman claim the man's door was ajar. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. It just seemed like la, 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 la. That's from Underground, something to that effect. The lies, the lies, the lies from Real Housewives of Atlanta. It just seemed like it's just like, why am I even paying attention? Like sometimes I'm like, oh, she said, and then it's like, it's just lies. It's just lies. It's not, yeah. So this billionaire wants to fly to the moon. He wants to take artists to the moon to do artwork. I think he's going with Elon Musk or Elon Musk's company or something like that. And he's one of the people who bought who was the artist, the Haitian artist who had like the locks, walk around barefoot? He bought some of his artwork, and his artwork, they say they use the term primitive, but it's like very representational. Our black athletes have leverage they never use, must entertain white master. They shouldn't have to suffer, says Sonia Sees. Ayapo says the whole story was flaky from the beginning. You talking about the cop going into the man's place and murdering that child. So this is the guy who's Basquiat. Yes, Basquiat. So this man has purchased like some Basquiat art, and I think he might have been the one who paid the most for a Basquiat piece, because he said that he felt that people should recognize. It was basically like, y'all better recognize this is like some great art, and he needs to be like well paid. He's dead, so he's not really getting well paid, but by paying big money for it, it shows that it's valued. Although when the artist doesn't get the money, and the white people who are running the artistic endeavor get the money, because that's who I imagine is getting the money. Yeah. So anyway, he going to the moon. He done paid the money. We don't know how much he paid, but he want to go to the moon. U.S. government payment site leaks. This is in more not news. 14 million customer records. So look, I used to pay my IRS bill online. It doesn't say, but my stuff could be out there. But then I was thinking, the card is used for that. I haven't used in years, I don't think. Then white folks can kill you at 2 p.m. and then make the game at 6 p.m. They got it made, says Sonia Sees. Yeah. So more leaks. More is your stuff is all your information is always leaked. Why do billionaires want to own the news? Because some other billionaire just purchased like Newsweek, something like that. Is Newsweek the one that Trump always want to be on? Maybe they purchased it so that Zero could be on the cover, because he always lie and say he'd been on the cover. I've been on the cover several times. Is that the truth? I don't know if that's the truth. Maybe I'm lying when I say that. And I think that he had like a cover made up, like a mock-up of him on the cover, because he aspires to be on the cover. So now he's gonna be on the cover. But I think that billionaires want to be on the news so that they can control the flow of information. That's exactly what I was going to say, Ayapo. Yes. So this article was just talking, this coming off of BBC .co.uk/news/business. But they were saying that because they want to save the world, and they're going to get frustrated after a while. How we gonna get out of this matrix? Asked Sonya Sees. How we gonna get out of this matrix? I actually feel like I have an answer to it, and then all of a sudden I was like, I'm not gonna. So, and that the billionaires want to own the news. Like one guy, I guess he bought something and he thought he was gonna fix it, because a lot of times I guess they like, I'm a billionaire, I can fix anything, and it's like media is changing, so they throw a lot of money in it and they get frustrated, and then it's not what they thought. But I think this because they want to control the narrative, and they want to tell us what to think and what to buy. um but I think that the more that we choose to not participate in certain things, the less attached we are to the system. So I think we have to separate ourselves, as Ayapo says. I think the separation is like key. I think without the separation, I don't know if there's a red pill and a blue pill, but I think without the separation, and I think it's step by step, choice by choice, area by area, the more separated you are, the less entangled in the web you are. Fukushima is going to be one of the doors, says Kendra to Sonia. South African court rules marijuana use in private is legal. Why you got to use marijuana in private? I guess this marijuana does have a smell, but I feel like people be using alcohol in public and then driving and hitting people. And then they be using alcohol in public, and then they be all loud and obnoxious, some of them. Why they got to use marijuana in private? I don't know. But anyway, that's what happened in South Africa. So is that progress? Is that good? I don't know. If you use it in private in South Africa, it's legal, they say. We get tech. Nielsen's latest report on Black economic empowerment. Dr. Mumbi was given false hope, but now she has been exposed as working for the Trumpsters, says Sonia Sees. I don't even know who Dr. Mumbi is. Who is that? I don't know who that is. Should I know? If she worked for the Trumpsters, I guess I don't need to know. Is it true? Is this okay? So the Nielsen's latest report says that Black people are like very like techie, which I thought was interesting. This is coming off of moguldom.com, so maybe somebody will read it and explain more of it. It's 2:47. Okay, I got a half hour. Thank you for letting us know. I'm disgusted, says Kenya to Sonia Sees, probably about Dr. Mombi. Ethiopia is the most progressive state in Africa, says Sonia Sees. Look, I'm in love with Ethiopia because Phil in the advice show. I'm in love with Ethiopia because Ethiopia was the country that was not colonized. Now they say Ethiopia and then Liberia and Monrovia, not Liberia and the other one on the west coast, but those countries are like created countries sort of by, I don't know, but Ethiopia, we not new to this, we true to this. Now Liberia, the other one, is like it's something going on there that I don't know what happened. My stream was just interrupted and it was gone. Press 1 if you can hear me. I'm back. Oh, let me turn this car on because my phone, it's almost out of juice. Yeah, so somebody go on. Oh, thank you. Look, I was about to start talking. I forgot. Buffering for a moment. Oh, I was totally gone. I had to say, resume my stream and everything. You didn't even know I was gone, and I was just gone. ACLU, Facebook allowed gender discriminating job ads. South Africa legalizes cannabis use. We just talked about that. Chinese city debuts bus pooling service. So instead of calling like a Uber, you call like a bus. And it's sort of like a Uber thing, but it's more public. Can't talk about Dr. Mumbi. They're monitoring. Oh. It's sort of like a bus, so it's like more public, so you feel more safe and secure than getting into a car with somebody you don't know. Do you ever feel unsafe? Have you ever gotten on a bus where it's just you and the driver? Do you feel nervous like they're going to pull aside and rape me maybe? I don't know. I never really thought about that. I used to ride in cabs all the time when I lived in New York, and I don't remember. Maybe I felt nervous at the time, but it's not like an enduring memory if I did. Church protests halt Georgia cannabis law. Oh, so I think that Georgia was trying to like make cannabis like legal, and the church got together and they like, we protest. That's what I think happened. Teen who stabbed classmate to death at school charged with murder. I was so sad to hear that story. And I didn't really, I heard about it from somebody else and now I'm seeing the headline. But what I heard is that these were like two honor students. It might have been even in Detroit or in Michigan or something, and or Ipsy or somewhere. These were two honor students and they fighting over a boy and one done stabbed the other one. That's an awful story. I'm so sad about that. Prayers out to the child who made her transition and her family in the community, and the child who out here stabbing children over boys. Yeah, so that's coming off of the grill. I haven't read the story. That's very sad. It's very sad. Rihanna pins powerful op-ed calling for universal education for children. I feel like every child should know how to, like, I feel like people should be literate. Like, I feel like literacy, like being able to read, it's not the same as being able to think, but I feel like being able to read and being able to think are very, very important, and they're a very important part of liberation. Like if we can't read and or we can't think, there's no way for us to get free and to be free and to stay free. Sometimes you are not able to read, but that doesn't mean that you can't think. And sometimes you can read, but that doesn't mean that you can think. So I mean, I'm not saying just because you, but yeah, I feel like everyone should know how to read and be literate. And also I feel like you can get exposed to things, ideas and concepts through a book and through the written word that you like you would never meet somebody, but you've read their words. Like they might have already made their transition. They might be in a whole nother part of the world. You would never talk to them in person, but you get a chance to hear and vibe with them and be with them through their words. So I feel like literacy is like really, really important. And I don't know, like it's just something about this Rihanna child. I didn't read the op-ed, but I'm here for universal education of children and people. Russia aircrew deaths. Putin and Netanyahu diffuse tension. So Putin runs a country. Netanyahu runs a country. They ain't dead. I don't know who the Russian aircrew is. That's why there were laws against us learning to read, and we are flooded with dumbed down garbage all day and all night. Programming. We're programmed through the programming. That was our yappa yappa. Sonia, we have a culture that promotes illiteracy, ignorance, and lack of critical thinking for our young people, and the old people too. But I was just thinking these leaders, Putin and Netanyahu, they ain't dead. So I feel like for them to diffuse the tensions, Dane, I mean, I guess if you was dead, you couldn't diffuse the tensions anyway. But it seemed like these leaders like get the people into fights and they not even in danger. Like I feel like I would respect you if you were like leading the charge. Like I'm mad, we're gonna go fight. I don't even know if I would respect you if you were leading that charge. But let's just say I would respect you more. I'm mad, we're gonna go fight, and I'm going in first. I'm risking my life first. Not I'm mad and we're gonna go fight. I'll stay here and y'all go on and get killed. No respect. I don't have no respect for no Putin and Netanyahu and them diffusing tensions when other people are being killed, promoting self-hatred. We're perpetuating a culture that is giving us love and life and that's promoting self-love. This is Notes on the News. This channel be fabulous you. What are you saying? State Department email breach leaks employees' personal data. Walmart to stop selling clothing with Soviet symbols, Lithuania says. Now, I guess Lithuania, according to this, is like the Soviet Union jacked us up and they was killing people. They was killing our people, 200,000 people, like a whole bunch of people, big groups of people. Russia was killing, the Soviet Union was killing the people. So we not here for the symbols. I don't know nothing about I'm like Lithuania. I mean, I've heard of it, but that's it. I didn't know. Why? Says Kenya to Sonia. New York Times. I'll take some fabulous you culture any day. Let's make it national. Yay. Sonia sees culture. New York Times identified new. Oh, it was the New York Times identified Angela Bassett as Omarosa, and Black Twitter says, "Not today, Satan, not today." I added the second "not today" just for because I just really got into it. I didn't know it was the New York Times. Sometimes I get people confused, and I don't know what type of systems these companies have, like these news companies have, for identifying people. Sonya say they don't make mistakes, as in they knew that wasn't no daggone Omarosa. They knew that was Angela Bassett. I don't know how they have the systems for identifying who the people are, because I feel like I get confused. I'd be like, I don't know who the people. If they didn't have the people's name written there, I probably most of the people I wouldn't know. And then when I was looking at that picture of Angela Bassett, it looked like Angela Bassett, but then kind of in a way, it's kind of like if I looked at it, I could kind of see Omarosa in it. But I don't know what, like, how do they identify people anyway? And what's wrong with if they identify a million people in pictures all the time? Why they mess up? Why they mess up now? Is it just an honest mistake? Do they do anything honest? Madrid Ritz, 1 dead and 11 hurt in scaffolding collapse. It was made on purpose, if you ask me, says Kendra. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, one person is scaffolding collapsed in Madrid at the Ritz Hotel, I guess. So prayers out to the person who died, and prayers out to the 11 people who are, got hurt. Hurricane Florence flooding has caused colonies of dangerous fire ants to form floating rafts. We heard about this before in past hurricanes and stuff like that. Nature don't play. Nature gonna survive. I don't know about y'all, but we about to form this raft, and they be flipping over. They have a whole system in place. And you would think, now how often have these ants been in a tornado to have this strategy in place and be able to implement it? But it's like the tornado happened. They like, okay, implement strategy, form the raft, because we not dying. It's just in their DNA. It's just in their memory. That they how I wonder if the ants know a hurricane was coming? Had they been doing like practice drills, like, okay, practice forming the raft, like, or rafts, like how does it work? Or it's just like automatically they wet and they do what it just come natural. I don't know. I don't know. Returnships. How the cousin of internships is about giving back. Returnships are for older people like me, basically. Like, Wilmington, a community cut off after terrifying storm. CCTV footage of 85-year-old tackling armed raiders goes viral. The 85-year-old said, "I'm not here for it. You're not going to come in here and arm and raid me with no arms. I'm going to attack you." That's coming off of the BBC. I didn't see it. U.S. slashes numbers of refugees to 30,000. Slash from what? I think I saw some. Okay. Khan al-Lamar, the West Bank village facing demolition. You are not old, Angie. Well, I mean, I'm like 47. I think I'm born 1971. So it's like I'm almost 50. That's like past middle age. Well, I don't know. It's not past my middle age because, of course, I'm going to live to be 200. But I'm just saying, animals have inherent wisdom, says Ayapo Yapa. They understand things intuitively, like birds flying south for the winter. But maybe they have school and you just don't know. Maybe they have like training, and they be like, okay, when they get cold, head in that direction. The way it's south is you look at this, maybe they have a system. Winter. Yeah, I got you. That's young for us. Oh. Right, age is relative. Tariq Ramadan. So they can also spell. You talking about birds? Ayapo Yapa. So I don't know what's up with the West Bank Village. It's like a weird glare on the screen. Could you see it? I don't know what's up with the village in the West Bank, but I just feel like it's some like is like the Israel like the there looks hazy, but it doesn't look hazy now, does it? Spell intuitively. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. They're going to demolish this West Bank village. Is the West Bank village Palestinian? Is the they the Israelis? I'm not really sure what's going on. So just prayers out for truth and justice to rise and prevail. And really you don't really even need to pray that, because that's just the nature of it. You can't kill the truth. You can't kill God. You can't kill good. You can't demolish truth. Tariq Ramadan, hashtag me too in the Muslim world. So I guess some people are saying this person abused them. Why do people come to Congressional Black Caucus? Attendees say there's work to do. They are now allowing 1,000 Africans into Israel, says Sonia Sees. Really? Twitter will revive the purely chronological timeline. Good. I like Twitter. I haven't been on it as much as I like to. Zimbabwe's cholera emergency, stench of sewage in Harare. South Africa crime. Can the country be compared to a war zone? They did the statistics and they like, no, the crime in CBC is a paper tiger, says Ayapo Yapa. I've heard the term, but I don't know what a paper tiger is. They did things and they like, yeah, South Africa got crime, but this is the crime in the war zone, and the crime in war zones is way higher than South Africa. So no. Regina King wins Emmy for 7 Seconds role. I want to curse right now. I guess that's what she said because she was happy. I didn't see 7 Seconds. I don't even know what 7 Seconds is. I don't really follow Regina King, but it's kind of cool because I remember her from 227 as a little girl. So like when I see her, it's kind of like, wow, I don't know. Director Glenn Weiss proposed during his Emmy acceptance speech, and it brought down the house. So instead of being like, I'd like to thank all the little people, he was like, I love you, woman, marry me, I guess. And the people was happy. Donald Glover and his white alter ego from Atlanta are both at the Emmys, and the people don't know what to think. He probably had somebody else dress up like the white alter ego. That's what I think. I don't know. I don't even know the white alter ego. I stopped watching Atlanta a little while ago. Julie Chen is reportedly leaving the talk after her husband's resignation amid sexual misconduct allegations. Russian military plane vanishes from radar over Syria. Elon Musk unveils first tourist for SpaceX moon loop. That was the Asian guy I told you about who has the Basquiat painting, and he said he want to take artists into space to do perspectives to the moon to do their artwork. Mexico trailer storing corpses angers residents. We talked about that. Game changer. Harvard debate team loses to prison debate team. September 17, 1858. Dred Scott, heard of the Dred Scott decision? Dred Scott died 17 months after he was emancipated. That's like less than 2 years. That's like when people die after they retire. They've been working on, when I retire, when I retired, when I retire. He's not Asian, he's South African, says Sonia Sees. Oh, Ayapo Yapo says a paper tiger seems like a tiger, but it's only made of paper. So it seems ferocious, but it's really weak. And then Sonia Sees probably was making a joke about Tiger Woods. But anyway, let me stay focused. So yeah, I don't have time to talk because I only have 10 minutes. Africa's largest tech incubator invests 700,000 in 7 African startups. Path is closing its private social network for good. I never even heard of Path, but it's closing for good. Activists carry coffins to Dallas Cowboys game to protest fatal police shooting of Botham Jean. I think it's Jean, not Jean. Botham? No, Elon Musk is South African white, says Sonia Sees. Are today's white kids less racist than their grandparents? I don't think so. Okay, let me stay focused. 2 American basketball players attacked and stabbed in Romania by a group of men Prayers out to them. That's coming off the Griot if you want to read the story. Dallas police officer Amber Geiger moved out of apartment complex after fatal shooting of Botham Jean. Well, that's good that she was able to move, because that Botham Jean is dead and he can't move out of his apartment. He can't move, period, because you killed him. Westin Marriott hotel workers okay strike. Union difference, even more important for families of color. And we be the most hostile, to me, it seems, maybe because I'm mostly around Black people. We, oh, unions, oh, unions, oh, unions. But statistically, unions are better for us. All evidence removed with her, says Sonia Sees, talking about this, the white murdering woman who worked for the white murdering cops who murdered the man. Typhoon Mangkhut, people buried by landslide. I think this is like going on in Asia. So prayers out to the people there. Nigeria floods kill more than 100. So prayers out to the people dying in the Nigerian floods. I didn't even know that there was flooding going on in Nigeria. Heartbroken mother of Antoine Rose discusses the fatal police shooting. I sit on the porch waiting for my son to come home. That is like a really poignant statement. That's something that makes your heart hurt. That's something that makes my heart hurt. And that's like a very real statement. This thing is just a shaking. That's my cousin back there. She running for public office. Real Housewives of Atlanta, Nene Leakes wants you to know she doesn't approve of Leakes season 11 cast photo. A mother's loss, says Sonia Sees. Yeah, I thought she didn't approve of, this is Nene Leakes. I thought she didn't approve because some of her castmates weren't on it or something, but she didn't approve, I guess, because she felt her hair wasn't looking good, or it wasn't a cute picture of her or some of the other people. Burkina Faso botched FGM leaves 50 girls in hospital. FGM is female genital mutilation. You know, like when they cut off your clitoris, or not, but it feel like it's cut when I hear about it. I'm like, oh, don't cut off my clitoris. Like, oh my gosh, it sounds painful. And also it cuts off my joy. Like, her hair never looked good. A mother's loss. You talking about Nene Leakes, says Sonia Sees. Yeah, did it? When? Yeah. So 50 girls, and so prayers out to the girls. You know, it's like the whole thing of like culture and like putting things in a cultural context. It's like, because again, I take things very personally. I don't want you to cut off my my clitoris at all. Like, I'm just not here for it, and I'm not here for it for nobody. And when I hear that the girls like try to escape, and that, you know, it makes me feel like, oh my gosh, like it sounds like terrible. It's terrorism. It's awful. So prayers out. Qatar's Emir gives Boeing 747 private jet to Turkey. It's barbaric and savage, says Sonia Sees. That's how it sounds to me. I don't even know how to put it in a cultural context because I'm not part of that culture. But the context that I can put it in is it sounds barbaric and savage. I agree 100%. Yeah. So who we giving away private planes? I got a 747. I'm just gonna give it to Turkey, says the Emir, because that's what he want to do. It sounds political, but I don't really understand the political dynamics. Grandmother sues after jury decides not to indict police in Columbus shooting of 13-year-old Tyree King. So prayers out to Tyree King and the family and the grandmother. I really am not familiar with the situation. The story is coming off the Griot. It's like the same stuff, different day, same skit, different day. Like it's the same mess. But good for her for suing. Frank Garvin Yerby, African-American historical novelist who reached millionaire status. Did he reach millionaire status from his writing? I remember when we did Young, Gifted, and Black, my monologue mentioned Frank Yerby, and so I had to look him up. I didn't know who he was. It was a list of a whole bunch of people. It was probably about 20 or 30 names, SSDD. It was 20 or 30 names, but I only knew about 15 or 20 of them, so a lot of the people I didn't know, and I had to look them up. Some of them I still don't remember, but when I saw this, dang, I done came out of my thing and I'm out of time. When I saw this, it made me think of Young, Gifted, and Black. And I wouldn't have remembered if it had said just Frank Yerby. I'd be like, I heard that name. I wouldn't have remembered who he was. But now that I see that, I'm like, oh yeah, I do remember hearing about that. Oh my gosh, I gotta hurry up. What is SSDD at Ayapo Yapa? Asked Kendra Acevedo. Same skit, different day. Zimbabwe, stench. Um, so Habaragani, what's the word? What we doing out here on these streets? How we determining for ourselves, naming ourselves, speaking for ourselves, creating for ourselves. Kuji Chagalia. You're welcome, Miss Kendra. Okay, I think I'm close back to where I was. Um, yacht, hashtag yacht skit. But she said SHIT. Issa Rae throws epic boat party to celebrate Black Emmy nominees. Kuju Chaga Leo. Kuji Chagu Leah. Roseanne reboot cast Black actress DJ's wife. I guess I'm happy for the child who got the job. I Proposed changes to anti-redlining law with gut intended purpose, advocates say. That's coming off of Moguldom. FEMA proposes mobile presidential alert test on October 3rd. Simonia's $30 a month unlimited plan tries to fill a void that movie pass shape a movie pass shape. Kuji Chagalia, Kujichagulia. That's very close. It's just one word though, but it's the K and the I think are the only difference, and then one word. Kuji Chagalia. So $30 a month, you get to watch unlimited movies. $30 a month is still not bad, but it's not so many movies I want to see at the theater for $30 a month. But that's like a movie a week. You pay less than that. Cinemia. Why Arabic is flowering in Israel even when it's officially demoted. First date peach tree bears fruit for son. I'll figure it out about a day before you go on to the new word. So they went on a first date. The man is like, I'm in love. I'm giving you this peach tree. Peach trees take a long time to grow, but I love you. We gonna be married. We gonna eat peaches from this tree together. And now their baby is eating a peach from the tree. Now they done planted the tree and forgot all about it. They ain't nurtured it, ain't done nothing, but it bore fruit. Baby squirrels freed from tail tangle in Wisconsin. It was like about 5, and its tails was all weird. I don't understand. 6 months after the fatal police shooting of Stephon Clark, activists demand accountability. All right, so I guess I'm going to have to come back or do it another day, but that's it for Notes on the News. Today is the best day ever. Be you, be fabulous. Be fabulous, you. It is 3:12. I was counting on 3:15. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous, you. Peace. Bye. Thank you for being here. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Bye.